Okay, today is day 5 of my quest to jump 30 inches and squat 180 kilo. Today we're going to do a speed session. I'm just going to be talking through the work, explaining why I'm doing everything and why it will help me towards my goals of squatting 180 kilo and jumping 30 inches. So yeah, today's speed, plyometric, and jump session. So we're going to start with some light plyometrics. There's going to be some bounds. I love to start every session, every lower session, with a little bit extensive plyometrics. I think they're just good for kind of like an extensive warm up, and also just gets you a little bit of those quick ground contacts, warms up the ankles, and gets you ready for the rest of the session as well. And they're not very fatiguing; they're just very good to get and a little bit extra elasticity working as well. So we're going to do two sets of them for 32 reps, and then we're going to go into our jump session. We're going to do some running jumps today. We've got our OVR jump trackers to show how high we're jumping every jump. It drives intent into the exercise and actually shows where I am as well. My best approach jump is 23 inches currently, which I got last week. So aiming to improve that. Even slight improvements will help me. I'm still a mile off of getting 30 inches, but just every week, just trying to compound, get a little bit better, jump a little bit higher, work on that technique as well as improve my power output. And then we're going to do some sprints, top end speed sprints today. So it's more about really going as fast as I can. So like the top end speed sprints are all about when you're trying a little bit more vertical, acceleration is a little bit more for horizontal power, and with top end speed sprints you're working on a little bit more vertical power, which is what I need to improve my vertical jump anyway. So yeah, we're going to do some of that, and then we're going to finish with a little bit of more plyometrics, just some bounds again, but just a little bit higher intense than what they were for the warm up, just to finish off with a little bit of elasticity work, a little bit of quick work. And then that'll be us for the day, I think, today. So yeah, we're just going to get right into it. We're just going to go into our light extensive plyometrics. So as I said, I love these in the warm-up. I do extensive plyos every single lower day. I think everyone can benefit from these. Yeah, and then so these bounds are basically just little jumps, little single leg jumps. That's the whole aim of them. A little bit high, a little bit forward, and a little bit vertically as well. We're just trying to get, as I said, little jumps into them. So I'll show you what I mean. These may look absolutely stupid, you kind of feel like an idiot doing them, especially when you're using your arms as well. But I'm going to tell you, these bounds are amazing especially for sprinting, working on that single leg, getting ready to move to the other leg. It's kind of similar to sprinting a little bit, obviously just at a slower speed. And I just love kind of doing bounds. So I think they're very important, especially for that elasticity work. And as I said, just doing they're kind of like mini single leg jumps. That's the way I like to look at them, where you're just kind of bouncing off the floor. You're landing on your toe to mid foot, not putting your heel on the floor for these, because that's kind of stopping you a little bit. You want to be on that mid foot, and you're just bouncing forward and up. It's really good to get yourself nice and warm. So we're going to do another set of these. Okay, we're now on to our approach vertical jumps. This is the main thing to improve your vertical jump, is you need to be jumping consistently. I normally do 2 jump sessions a week. So one of them, the first one I did, was a standing jump, which is more working on that standing power. And then today is an approach jump, which is more what you kind of see in sports, where you're running and jumping up for a header or jumping up for a basketball hoop. This is what's really going to push your vertical jump, is actually doing jumping. Obviously you can get strong, which will help massively too, and sprinting will also help indirectly, but these all improve your vertical jump at the same time. But you need to be jumping consistently at least twice a week. I think any more than that sometimes is a bit too much, but 2 jump sessions a week seems to be the sweet spot. So we're going to aim for about 20 to 30 jumps. The first 5 to 8 are kind of like not max effort ones, they're just getting into the rhythm of it, getting into the movement. So that's what I'm going to do. First 5 to 8 we're just going to do lighter jumps, and then we'll go into our max effort ones, and it's normally after about 12 or 15 where I actually start hitting good PRs and actually start hitting records. So we're going to, so again, the first few are just getting into it, getting the technique right. Okay, I've just done 5, just a nice little warm up. Feeling pretty good. I think my technique is not the best, especially when you're using these trackers, because you kind of have to like stop a little bit to land in that position. But it is what it is. Obviously when you're jumping, you're sometimes going to move a bit forward, but with these you're trying to jump up and land in the same position, which can maybe stop the jump height being as good, but it doesn't really matter. I'm trying to track it, so that's the only reason I'm doing it like this. But But yeah, so we're going to get into it now. We're going to try some max effort ones, see where we can get. When you're doing jump sessions like these, you don't want to do it in reps and sets, as in like, you don't want to do 4 sets of 3 reps. Because that's not really what you need when you're doing like this kind of work, power work. You want to just rest as needed. So I normally do a jump, because you want every jump to be max effort, or try to be as max effort as possible. So you need that rest in between. If you're doing 3 sets of 4, let's just say, you're doing 4 reps back to back, you're not really resting between them. So like the 4th rep, it's going to be pretty slow, it's not going to be your best. So you need that, like, normally I rest about 30 seconds to a minute in between each jump. It just gives your body enough time to relax, rest, rejuvenate, and then get back in for the next effort to be max effort. Probably the longer you rest, the better in between each jump, but sometimes you need to keep yourself warm. So the first few, I don't rest as much in between, maybe 30 seconds. And as I feel like I'm getting higher and higher, I'll probably rest a little bit more in between each jump, like a minute almost between each jump. And I think that's the best way to do it. I normally have an aim like 20 jumps total, max effort ones, and just do it in as little time, or just do it and rest as I need in between them. That's the kind of way I do it, and I think that's the best way to do your jump work, rather than 3 sets of 4 or 5 sets of 5 or whatever. Anyway, that's what I kind of think. One of the best things you can invest in is having something to track your jumps, to drive that intent into the exercise. I like to use the OVR jump tracker, just because it actually gives you instant feedback. You know exactly how high you're jumping. A Vertec is also a great thing when you're jumping and reaching something. That's probably one of the best ways as well, because obviously, again, you can test how high you're jumping. Instant feedback. Even a hurdle or a box, just something to drive that intent into the exercise makes it way more fun. It makes it way more engaging, and you're actually going to put more into the exercise rather than just jumping and not having any idea of how high you're jumping or what you're trying to jump over or onto, you know. So I think it's definitely worth jumping onto something or over something, or having some sort of tracker, just so you can, again, it shows how ready you are as well, especially like these kind of trackers. It shows that every week if you're progressing or not. You can adjust your training to see why you're not progressing or whatever. But I think it's definitely worth having, like, buying some sort of, especially if you're very interested in this kind of stuff, it's definitely worth buying something to show, like either a Vertec or these OVR jump trackers. They're really not even that expensive, and they're really good. It shows you exactly how high you're jumping, and you can keep testing yourself every week, or just every now and again, just to make sure you're improving, because you need to know you're improving, or then it's like, what's the point in training if you don't know if you're improving or not? So that's why I like these, and this definitely improved my engagement in training and jump sessions, because I have that instant feedback. And yeah, so I think it's definitely worth an investment if you're into this stuff. Okay, that was the best one of the day, 22.5 so far. We're going to do at least another 6 jumps, maybe do another 10, and we'll see how the jumps, if they keep improving. This is when I normally start hitting PBs, is when I'm in this kind of slot. I've done, like, I think I've already done 12 jumps, and then normally between this into 16 jumps, I'm normally hitting, kind of getting close to my PR. So that was probably as close as I'm going to maybe as get. 23 is my best, so it's 22.5. We're getting closer. Just got, so like now, I'll probably rest a minute in between each jump, because now they are becoming my absolute max effort. So I don't want to be fatiguing myself too much. I want to make sure every jump is an absolute max effort. Okay, we're on to top end speed sprints now. So we just set up 10 meters. We're going to do like a 30 to 40 meter run up, run all the way up, try and be sprinting our max speed at the 10 meters, and then we're going to be sprinting as fast as we can for 10 meters. Aim is to get, last week we got 1.112, which was really good, I think, for me anyway, for my top end speed, so quite happy with that. But the aim is to improve this as well. I think if you improve this, you'll improve your vertical jump, but also if you improve your vertical jump, you'll improve your top end speed as well. They kind of work together, I think, slightly, especially the approach ones. So that's the hope anyway, because you're kind of vertical with these. It's going to help with that vertical power, vertical force, vertical speed. So that's why I think top end speed sprints are so important, especially if you want to improve your vertical jump, if that's one of your main goals. So yeah, we're going to get into it. We've already done our warm up sets, we're just going to get right into it. Normally with sprints I follow the general rule of rest 1 minute for every 10 meters sprinted, But when you're doing top end speed sprints, it's a little bit different. That kind of works for acceleration sprints, like 10 meter, just 10 meter. But because these are top end speed and you're actually going at a faster velocity, you probably need to rest a little bit longer in between like the 10 meters, so like the 1 minute. So for 10 meters right now, for top end speed, I'm resting like 2 minutes between each rep, just 2 to 3 minutes really, just to give my legs a time to rejuvenate and then be able to go as fast as I can again. Normally it is 1 minute for every 10 meters, but because you're going at faster velocities when you're doing top end speed sprints, you probably need longer to rest. And 1 minute just doesn't cut it, it ends up being a conditioning session. So for acceleration sprints, definitely rest 1 minute for every 10 meters sprinted. Or when it's top end speed sprints, I would honestly double it, sometimes even triple it, and rest like 2 to 3 minutes for every 10 meters sprinted. Because if you're doing a 20 meter top end speed sprint with like a 40 meter run up, that's almost like, obviously you're not running as fast as you can for that first 40 meters or 30 meters, whatever you're doing for the run up, but you're still running, when you're hitting that 20 meters or 10 meters, you're doing that top end speed, you're doing the fastest you possibly can, the highest velocity that your body can handle, so you probably need to rest a little bit longer than a minute for every 10 minutes. So we've done 3 now, we're probably going to do another 3 to 5 more reps. We'll see how the drop off is with the sprints. If I'm getting slower and slower each rep, I will stop the session, but if I keep getting PBs or keep getting quite fast, I'll continue going until they drop off. But the max I'm going to do is 8 today. Okay, we're done with our sprints now, so we've done our jumps, max effort sprints. Now we're just going to do some bounds. These are only like medium intense kind of bounds. We're not looking for max effort here, just to get a little bit more elasticity working on this day. And also get bounds in, because we don't have any other time to do bounds during the week, and I still think they're a very effective plyometric and should be done once a week, especially if your goal is to, my main goal is to jump higher and to squat heavier, but I still want to be able to move well and be a fast athlete too, so I want to be able to get a little bit more elasticity working, and this also might help with the jumping higher, just getting a little bit more elasticity reps in. Again, this isn't just for outputs, this one's more for rhythm, coordination, and just working on, as I said, elasticity. So not everything needs to be for max effort outputs. That's what the jumps were for, that's what the sprints were for, and that's what the squats are for. They're for the max effort kind of stuff. And you also want to do some medium intense kind of exercises like the medium bounds and we do. They are very important to bridge the gap between the light stuff and the high intense stuff. You need to do something in between, and that's where these medium kind of bounds get into. So I mean, these are literally just the same as the light bounce, but we're just jumping a little bit higher, and with the single leg, and then we're going forward a little bit further. It's just the exact same kind of thing. We're still looking at little mini jumps going forward and up, but we're just going a little bit higher and a little bit further with each jump. And we're doing less reps. We're doing 3 sets of 12 reps. Okay, cool. That is us for the day. So that is our day 5 of the quest to jump 30 inches and squat 108 kilo. Progress this week hasn't been as good. Last week we were hitting PBs and everything. I think our max approach vertical was 23 inches. Our max standing was 21.4. This week we've actually done less than that. 22.5 was my max approach today. Standing was, I think it was 21, so not that much of a difference, just a little bit. Squats today, we've got squats later on in the week where we're going to try and push a PB, so hopefully we're going to aim for a 165 kilo squat later on in the week. So right now we're doing 3 lower days. The first lower day is a standing jump and some squats, but more speed kind of squats. We work up to a decent heavy single, not a max single, and then we do some 3 to 5 back off sets for 2 reps at a lighter weight, about 75 to 80% of my max. We're just trying to move that as fast as possible, and then we do some Bulgarians and some accessory work. And then on this day is this kind of day, jumps, sprints, a little bit of bounds, plyometrics, jumps and sprints. Perfect little day for athletics. I call it like an athletic day. And then on the Friday we do some hurdle jumps, work on that reactive power and reactive strength, and then we do some that's the day we kind of push our squats, so we're going for a max effort squat. That's why I don't want to do super high intense tiring plyometrics before that. The hurdle jumps or drop jumps aren't that tiring, they're more as a warm up, just working on being reactive. But so that's the day we push our squats, and then we push our RDLs as well, do some hinge work as well, so then some accessories. So that's what the aim is today. That's what we do 3 lower days a week and 2 upper days as well, just working on that upper strength. And we'll have some goals in that area too, but the main goals are the 30-inch vertical and the 180 squat. I'll probably need to lose a little bit of weight as well to achieve this. Right now we're 101 kilo, so probably dropping down to like 97, 96 kind of kilo. We drop like 5 kilo almost, which is probably going to help with my sprints and jumps. But I kind of also don't want to do that because I'm like, well, did I actually improve or did I just lose weight? You know, I actually want to, my aim is to be 100 kilo and to try and be as powerful and explosive at that actual weight. You know, because that's when you know you're actually getting stronger. That's when you know you're actually getting more powerful, is when you stay at the same weight and then you actually jump higher and become faster or get stronger. Because if I lose weight, yeah, it's going to mean I might be able to jump a little bit higher because I'm carrying a little less kilo, but at the same time, did I actually get more explosive? Did I actually get more powerful? Or did I just lose weight and it just came with that? So, I mean, there's probably like, you probably need to lose a little bit of weight to do that, but yeah, I want to just be 100 kilo and to be as powerful as I can at that weight. And I think that it's way doable to do a 30-inch vertical at that weight, and getting a 180 squat should be more than doable to get at 100 kilos. So I should manage to hit my goals with still being 100 kilo, which is what I want, because I still feel pretty good in myself. When I get too light, I don't feel a bit more skinny, and I want to be feeling good, feeling confident in my body as well. So that's why I want to be hitting 100 kilo, squatting 180 and hitting a 30-inch vertical, and I think they're all more than doable goals. So yeah, at the moment we're still working on this. We've got 12 more weeks till we go back to football, so we've got 12 weeks to really focus on athleticism and really push it, and we want to be hitting, I'm not going to say I'm going to hit 30-inch vertical in 12 weeks, we've got 7 inches to go, but even if we get to 25, 26 inches, then we can just keep improving. It might take over a year to hit 30-inch vertical. I think the 180 squat will come quicker, but 30-inch verticals, obviously, I'm 31 this year, so it's more difficult to get, but it is my main goal, and I will get it eventually. It might take a year. I don't really care how long it takes. I'm just going to keep going until I hit that vertical goal, but I know I'll hit the 180 squat, I think, within the 12 weeks for sure. And that'll also help me with my vertical because I'll be a lot stronger athlete. I think a 1.8 to 2 times bodyweight squat is a very good area to be at, and that's a very good strength foundation, which will help you be more powerful for your jumps and your sprints. So yeah, that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and we'll try and get another few videos out. Probably do 2 a week for now, and then we'll just keep going from there. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.